Hi guys, how are we? Welcome back to my channel, and if you're new here, my name's Indigo and we are starting today's video in my kitchen because, as I'm sure you've seen in the title of this video, this kitchen is in need of a mini makeover. I'm super excited for this video. We are going to get up to a few little DIYs that I've been wanting to do for a while that are renter friendly, and we're going to style it a bit more my style. So for a bit of context, if you're new to this channel, I love all things coastal grandma, cottagecore, classic vibes, country farmhouse. So that's what we're going to do in here. So I'm super excited. So without further ado, let's get straight into this video. With this project, we are not changing any of the hardware. We are not doing any big costly changes. This is all going to be budget friendly, renter friendly changes, and we are going to start with the countertops. So one thing I've been wanting to do for a while is change the worktops. In an ideal world, and if I own this property, I would get wooden worktops put in. But because we're in a rented place, we are actually going to go in with some vinyl. I think it will give it a nice kind of country farmhouse feel to the kitchen. But to do this, I need to start by clearing all the sides. So I'm going to do that first. So this was my first time covering my worktops with vinyl, so I was definitely figuring it out as I went, but things that I learned were make sure to measure twice. I found it really useful to have something to hold the vinyl down as I was cutting so it didn't move, and then also to use as big of pieces as you can for a seamless look with fewer joints. But honestly, don't panic if it's not perfect. Mine definitely isn't, and I still love it. So this is the point we're up to. I am literally obsessed with this. I think even if you're not in a rented place and you're doing like a kitchen reno in your own place and are going to be changing the worktops, I think even doing this as like a trial and seeing if you like it before you get your kitchen reno done would be an amazing idea. Obviously, I don't know how long it's going to last, but I'm really happy with the finish of it. It's got like it's textured, like it feels like wood, which is just, I don't know, just something so nice about it. But we're at this point. I have run out, but I think I need probably one more roll just to finish off around the sink and then do this countertop over here. But I do have some offcuts and I hate waste. I also thought, what about like round the handle on the oven? Do we think that will be too much? I'm not sure. I think I'm going to look back at the footage and see if it looks odd. But can you see the vision? I think it will just tie it together. But I love the colour of the vinyl, of this kind of wood effect with the cream cabinets. Like, I feel like it's made me fall in love with the colour of the cabinets. So yeah, I'm gonna get on with that, and then we'll have to finish this little DIY when I've got some more of the vinyl. I'm so happy with the finish of the vinyl. I think it really warms up the space and gives that kind of country farmhouse vibe. So I'm so happy that I went and did that. I did finish around the sink and I've taken it all the way around, and it's now time for the most fun part, I would personally say. So we're gonna style all the things I've been collecting for this kitchen. I've been to antique shops, charity shops, car boots, a couple of things from like mainstream stores, but the majority of this is thrifted. And I feel like people around me sometimes say to me when I'm picking things up, what are you going to do with that? Why do you need that? Or what is this? Or you're never going to use that. But actually, if you can collect stuff over time with the idea of where it's going to go, it means that you've got an amazing haul of things to choose from when you're styling. And it's a bit like, almost, I see it a bit like styling a shop window. I really feel like that would be a job I would really enjoy. But I think I've decided, because this is where the hob is, this is going to be like the meal prep area, like cooking prep station, because before we had all the utilities here and I only had this bit, so I want to make a bit more space. Kind of fruit, veg, bread over there, and then I'm going to make this like the coffee station nook, I think. So I'm going to get straight into it. Let's start maybe on the side. Red, burgundy, vintage red colour, and it was all inspired by this tea towel. I picked this up in Dunelm a little while ago, and as we're kind of going into late summer and I'm thinking ahead to the next season, this I feel like is going to be a staple colour, so I'm kind of bringing that through into some of the accent pieces. For example, the recipe book holder I did in a similar colour, and I'm just trying to pull little aspects of that through, as well as like the blue and the cream as well. But I just think that's a really nice colour palette. But yeah, all inspired by this one little tea towel. Right, I think I'm pretty happy with how this is looking. I still want there to be enough prep space, so we'll tweak it as we go. I think this is a good starting point. Space, and you know those massive bowls that you get that have kind of got the lip on the edge, maybe in a similar pattern to the blue printed pot, something like that up there would look really nice, to have a bit of a pop of colour up there and a different material, because it's a lot of wicker, so something maybe china up there but I'll keep my eye out. That will be a special find and we'll add that in as we find that. Yet to have something like that in my collection. I feel like here I need something to cover the plugs. Part of me was toying with the idea of having some hanging mugs, but I think because I've had to put the air fryer here because we use this daily, that it was going to be too cluttered, and I'm not sure it would be very practical just because of the height of the cupboard. So I'm thinking I want to get my hands on a picture, a frame that will cover this, that can cover here and a little bit of this. Let me see if I've got anything. So I've had a look in my frame collection and I haven't got anything with a print in that's the right size. I'm thinking, imagine this had a print on it. This is like the back of another frame. Something maybe like this. Can you see the vision? Something thrifted, a really nice like classic oil painting to go here because it hides the plugs. I don't know about anyone else. I can't stand plug outlets in the kitchen, just seeing them. So I've covered the other one with a chopping board and I need to keep my eye out for a picture like this. I think I might just leave that there for the meantime so you can kind of see the vision. This part of the kitchen I probably want to keep the most clear because this is where realistically the washing up gets piled up from when we're cooking, baking, and it gets stacked up here and it needs to be a practical area. So let's have a look what we can add to this area just to give it a little bit of a lift. These were a recent find, a car boot, and they actually came in a set of 3. But I'm thinking, how perfect are they for the kitchen? Honestly, spending a morning at the garden centre healed my soul. It was the most wholesome thing ever, and I found some really lovely plants that I think will bring a bit of life into the kitchen, but also will actually have a purpose, as most of them are edible for our pet tortoise. So that's what I was on the hunt for. So it did take me a bit longer because I had to keep like googling and researching and checking back on different websites to check which of these were edible. So let's see what I got. I'm gonna start off with the pièce de résistance. I got my hands on a hydrangea, guys, and it's gorgeous. Look at her. I love the kind of white green colours, and I chose her because she's kind of overhanging onto one side, if you can see, and I think maybe this coming down the side of the short fridge would add a little bit of height but also a bit of interest to the top of that corner from when you're sitting from here. And I got a lovely pot to go with that. It's really heavy, but this beautiful pot. I got myself a Boston fern, so I mean, how sweet is she? Again, edible for my little tortoise, and I picked up this little pot too. I'm thinking that one on the windowsill. I also picked up a little mint plant, again, food for tortoise, but also I can use it in cooking, and I do want to get some more herbs at some point that I grow in the kitchen, like coriander. I use coriander all the time. What is this? This is a geranium, and tortoises can actually eat some varieties of geranium every now and then. So even though it's only got a couple of flowers on and it's smaller, my tortoise isn't going to be eating from this every day, if you know what I mean. It's like a little special pink treat. I picked up this little funky thing, which is a coleus, and it's basically just foliage, but this really interesting like colour to it and shape, which I thought actually in a really simple pot would really pop, and again edible for tortoises if anyone's interested. I picked up a couple of pots too that I thought might work in the kitchen, so we need to pot these and then figure out where we're going to pot them, so let's do that. And that brings us to the end of this kitchen transformation. I am honestly so happy with how it's turned out. I think it feels so personal. I love every little nook and cranny because it's curated out of items that I've picked up when thrifting, car booting, charity shopping. So everything just brings me joy because they're pieces I've picked up because I love them. I really think enhancing the space then after styling with lighting and then the florals has really just brought this space together and has left it feeling like that kind of classic Nancy Meyers inspired kitchen. I'm going to continue looking for a print for the coffee corner. If you have any suggestions of where to look, let me know. If any of you have any ideas what I should do with that side of the fridge where it could be a little nook, I've had a few thoughts. Please do let me know down in the comments if you've got any grand ideas for that space. But we are going to leave this kitchen transformation here. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope you feel inspired to use a range of thrifted and modern items to spice up your kitchen. And as always, if you've enjoyed this video, please leave a like below. And if you're new here, please do subscribe to see more content like this. And I'll see you in next week's video. Ta-ra for now.